Balthasar Kreischer was a wealthy German brickmaker who, in 1885, built two identical Victorian-style mansions on Staten Island, New York. He built these mansions for his sons, Charles and Edward, who ran the brick factory located near the mansions. In 1894, Edward Kreischer died from a gunshot wound to his temple. The official record claims it was a suicide, although there was some speculation that after a business dispute, he may have been killed by his brother Charles. After his death, the house was burned to the ground. The surviving mansion became home to organized crime and was used as a killing ground. Tonight we will investigate Charles Kreischer's mansion with the aid of the caretaker and recording engineer Brian Crowe. I'm Steve from Visual Paranormal Investigations, and we're here tonight to investigate the Kreischer Mansion. All right, right now I'm with Brian Crowe. We're at his mixing board. You're recording sometimes individual tracks, correct?
Yeah, piece by piece. You got the drums, the bass.
Drums, bass. All right, so let's say you start off with a click track. Then you could put maybe the bass or the drums. Then at a later date, you could always put the guitar, overdub some more guitar or
More
whatever.
layers and layers.
Right, layers and layers. That's what I'm trying to get at. That this place is kind of like this board, if you think about it.
Yeah, it is.
It's had layers of history from the Kreischers right through to what happened with the mob, okay, and to where it is now, and all those spaces in between. That's like a novel.
Yeah.
It's going to be one page only from that big book, okay? So we're going to try to see if any of those residual sounds, so to speak, are left over in this place and can be accessed somehow.
See what we can uncover, you know?
And that's what we're going to do tonight. All right, right now I'm up here in the bar with Brian, and I don't know if this was used as the cigar lounge.
I believe the room, the green room on the other side was the cigar lounge. This was the kind of private bar.
Right.
Private bar for the restaurant, but...
Okay, but this wasn't a bar in Balthasar's time.
No, it wasn't, no.
Oh, okay.
No. That's the more recent history.
Okay, now to get back into the actual history of Balthasar, from what I was able to discover, now you correct me if I'm wrong, because some of this could be off.
Yeah.
Okay, the Kreischer Mansion was built by Balthasar Kreischer, who was born in Bavaria, Germany,
1813.
1813, and he died on Staten Island 1 year after this house was built.
This was built, yeah.
Right, in 1886.
This is one of the two.
One of the two.
There was two identical, they were mirror-imaged homes. And his home was farther down Arthur Kill Road.
And if I'm not mistaken, he also had an apartment or a townhouse or something in Manhattan as well.
In Manhattan as well. Yeah.
Okay, and so he would be, keeping an eye on his business, both on the Lower East Side and on Staten Island.
But the big thing is why he came here.
Okay.
At least,
Yeah.
So he came after the big fire. Do you know what year? There's a big fire.
Yes, there was a big fire that was in 1835.
Yeah, 1835. So after that, Manhattan burnt down.
Right.
Then we have a smart German.
Right.
Great engineer. Who says, "Oh,
perfect opportunity.
Let me make the fireproof brick." So the whole house is littered now with these. It says Kreischer #1. And it's the first fireproof brick.
Right.
And he rebuilt a majority of the west side of Manhattan.
Right. From what I understand, it was 65% destroyed.
Yeah.
So he came here, he built this, he opened up first, I think, on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, the brick factory. Then he built one right across on the Arthur Kill.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, I think he ran out of clay.
He ran out of
That's what
clay.
happened. And he's a smart man.
Yeah.
Did his research and found that, we're in clay pits here.
Right.
The Clay Pits Reserve. This whole area is clay.
Right.
So he did his research big time and bought a large portion of this land here, named it Kreischer Mansion.
Right.
Also bought part of Jersey just across the way there too.
In August 1886, Baldassar Kreischer died at the age of 73 and was buried in Greenwood Cemetery. That's in Brooklyn. In 1894, according to what I have here, Edward Kreischer committed suicide with a gunshot wound to his temple by the brick factory on Arthur Kill Road. Right?
That's where it gets slightly incorrect.
Okay.
That's where the difference between what you're going to find, not saying you're finding it on the internet, but what you're going to find generally, or to actually what happened, is where it starts twisting.
Well, in the historical record,
Historical records, you'll find it in the newspaper, and you'll see that whole deal where he committed suicide right down this road, right out this window, down there next to the brick factory, because he couldn't take the business anymore.
Right. Well, I also read that Kreischer himself, when he was, Baldassar himself, when he was in charge of the brickworks, he hired mostly Germans. When he died and the two sons, Edward and Charles, took over, they began to hire other workers who weren't Germans.
Underpaid Sicilians.
Underpaid Sicilians.
Pretty much, that's what happened. He's running business.
And then it all goes downhill.
And he's taking advantage of immigrants.
Yeah.
More immigrants come, and they this is the mob mentality started right here. There's something kind of deep that went on down the road, within the property, all that it gets me even spooked. Like we spoke off camera.
Yeah.
And I can talk a lot easier now. I'm about to say it. I'm getting verklempt. Is the
Really?
word. I swear to God, right now. Like I can't even. Like I'm breaking into a sweat.
Just thinking about
Like I can't.
the depth of what's going on here.
I just feel like I can't say anything right now. I swear to God.
All right, let's take a break for a minute.
I'm not even
Let's
kidding.
take a
I'm
break
breaking
for
into
a
a
minute.
sweat. It's weird.
This is kind of weird. We just took a break because you started to feel an overpowering emotion.
Yeah, I'm not. He didn't kill himself. I don't think. And if I'm talking for him, he didn't kill himself.
Yeah, well,
He didn't kill himself. Someone took him out. It's within the same families that took out the last guy that was here.
all right, now let's get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's come ahead in time.
Here we go again. Yeah, the next chapter.
I mean, it's repeating itself. But they eventually had some big meetings here with big members of the families.
Yeah, of course. There's this room alone. I can only imagine that these walls can talk. The last owners of it, who ended up hiring someone to take care of the house. Well,
That was Joe Young.
That's Joe Young, Joe Black. Little does the current owner know. He's all affiliated. He's got his girlfriend works at a massage parlor. He's a bouncer at the strip club around the corner.
And he was hooked in.
He's a banana hitman.
Yeah, okay. Is there any understanding as to why this guy was hit?
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, he was an older gentleman.
Well, what was his name again?
Robert McLeavy.
Robert McLeavy.
I actually feel bad for him. And I know he ran his mouth a little bit too much.
And I think he owed money, from what I had.
It wasn't much of a money thing, I can tell you that.
It was more.
It wasn't about a
being
money.
a big mouth.
It was like you opened your mouth stupidly to brag about to be a tough guy.
And now we're going to shut it for you. Now you found an artifact that I'd like to show people, and it's a identification.
Yeah, wait here a second.
Yeah.
We got a
Oh
Joseph
man.
Young's ID. I'm not sure from where. Looks like he was a Marine. It looks like pre-Marines.
I'm going to bring this up to the camera.
Yeah, show it to me. That's why I got a little freaked out before, because it's hard to say the truth. The truth in this house won't set you free.
No,
it'll fucking kill you.
It'll kill you. All right, so you know what? We're going to start our investigation.
Let's
now.
go. Let's see if we can find some.
All right now, Brian and I are going to take a walk around the house in the dark and see some of the rooms that we're going to investigate later.
So here we are in the main foyer area. Let's take a stroll through the recording studio.
All right.
here we are in the, I guess this would have been the living room or possibly a dining room.
As we go through, Brian, would you mind telling me some rooms that you think I should investigate, that you think would be good for...
Well, I've been told this room in front of this mirror here, I've been told by other psychics and people that have come by, two in particular, to not sit in front of this drum set and play drums. I do.
And do you look in the mirror?
I look in the mirror. I don't feel anything yet, but I think...
Well, do you know what scrying is?
No, I don't know anything about this.
Scrying is when people believed that if you stare into a reflective surface, you can see spirits. So right now I'm shooting into that mirror, and maybe later I'll come and sit and stare into it for a while.
Yeah, I go up my piano room.
It's a shame you don't have a Steinway in here,
I wish we did, yeah.
because that has a connection to the Kreischers, right?
The Kreischers funded Steinway.
Oh.
They funded them. I think it was 1885, right when the house was built. They gave as far as I know, they gave a fair I don't know, donation, or I'm not sure if it was an investment. They weren't partners. They just gave them money and they got it going. So here's the third room downstairs. Could have been another parlor room, living room, or dining room. I don't know yet.
At this point in our walkthrough, our cameras captured this very unusual anomaly. Where are we now?
Now we're just about to go into the kitchen here.
Now, if I remember correctly, I'd like to do a session in here because this is where the guy who was killed was cut up, correct?
Yeah, this is where they dismembered the body. This is the room where we all feel the most energy. My assistants, the guys that work here, the late nights that we have.
Right now I'm standing in the kitchen where Robert McLeavy was dragged after being drowned in the reflecting pond in the front of the mansion. He was dragged in here, dismembered, chopped up, the blood draining into this drain, and I want to see if that residual energy from that event, that extremely traumatic event, could have possibly imprinted itself like one of the tracks on a tape in this room. So I'm going to run on the EVP recorder first, then I'm going to try the spirit box. All right, I'm trying to speak to Robert. Robert, I know what happened to you. Everybody knows what happened to you. They know who did it to you. Are you at peace or are you still here? Robert, what was it like when they held your head under that water in that reflecting pond? What were you thinking? Were you still trying to get away? What was going through your mind? After you had passed, could you see them, the perpetrators, actually cutting up your body? Joseph Young is eligible for parole soon. How does that make you feel? That he'll walk the streets free? I mean, no disrespect. I'm just trying to reach out to you, and if I can, help you in some way. If you could tell me, I would try to help you in some way. Maybe find peace. I would try to help you in some way. Maybe find peace. All right, I'm going to stop. I'm going to run this back, and if I have anything, I'll play it into the recorder. All right, now I'm going to run on the spirit box. We did try the EVP, didn't really get much with that. So I'm going to try the spirit box right now. Same series of questions. I'm trying to speak to Robert, who was killed outside, dragged here, and hacked up. Robert, can you hear me? Can you say the name of the man who drowned you? What was his name? He had a nickname. Joe what? Robert, do you find it difficult to speak through this device? Notice no voices. Please tell me your last name. Nice and clear, please. Robert, the men who killed you were involved with what? They were involved in... All right, Robert, or whoever I'm speaking to, if I'm speaking to anyone, I need one clear name or I'm going to have to stop. I want you to say my name, Nell's name, your name, Brian's name, whoever. All right, thank you. Thank you, Robert, for communicating. If you did, we're not going to leave you stranded. If you really are here, we're going to try to help you. Would you like that? Would you like us to try to bring you some peace? All right, thank you, Robert. And good night. Good night, Robert. All right, let's go up from here. Where would we head?
So here now we have a side hallway where Robert McLeavy,
Yeah.
he was stabbed here.
Right.
This is the beginning of his murder. He entered this door.
Yeah.
He was stabbed, he ran out, was drowned, dragged back into the kitchen, dismembered.
Like you were telling me earlier.
Yeah, dismembered and brought down to the basement.
Right. Okay.
The basement's right here, right around the corner.
Well, I think we should save that for last. Let's go upstairs first.
Yeah, let's. So here we are on the second floor foyer.
Yeah.
There's a few different rooms here.
Yeah.
What I call the green room. Of
Now that's supposed to be active, right?
It's supposed to be one of the most active rooms. That's where my daughter had a big experience.
Oh, with it, you were telling me with the screaming and...
So it's one of those things, do I know if it was something real? I don't know. But
you heard the banging also that night.
I woke up pretty much in a panic. Heard this big slam. My daughter woke up screaming.
And you could never determine where that bang came from, right?
You felt that big draft?
Yeah, I did. Just now, I just felt it. It came on my left side.
Anyways.
Yeah.
No, but really, that's why I'm not convinced yet.
Okay.
But the green room
I just felt
has
it
been
again, by the
told.
way.
Yeah, the green room has been told to have massive activity. Every time I talk about the room, we keep getting a draft here. I don't know why.
Heat should be rising, but we're feeling cold coming up from the bottom.
I mean, this is coming up strong.
Yeah, pretty fucking strong.
It really is. I mean, you can actually feel this right now with your hand. If you put your hand here, put your
I
hand
feel it
with
in my
mine.
face.
Yeah. I just want to have, somebody verify that I'm not crazy.
I feel cold air
Yeah.
coming down too.
Brian, you're feeling that cold air coming up this way, right? And we're feeling it.
Oh, I feel the air. If you hear it, you feel the air coming down and up at the same time.
And it's both cold.
They're both cold.
Now, that is unusual.
Yeah, it's very unusual because last year we secured all these windows and took care of everything, and we know what the drafts are. It's kind of odd right now that the air is flowing up and down when hot air should rise. Like
All right.
like LJ said.
I'm gonna try something. It may not work. Now I'm in what's known as the green room, and Brian, you're here with me, right?
Yes.
And this is known as the green room.
Yes, it is.
And this is the one that's supposed to be more active. Is that correct?
The only activity I've ever had was in this room with my daughter.
All right, so you had activity with your daughter in this room. So I'm gonna run on this EVP, see if I can get anything.
Somebody woke her up. Ask who woke her up.
All right. What's her name?
Lou.
Light anomaly.
All right, can somebody please tell me who woke up the little girl named Lou? Who frightened her? Did you frighten her intentionally, or was it more of an accident? I don't believe you wanted to be mean to a little girl, did you? Is there anyone here who was connected to the mob? Good. Is there anyone here who was connected to the mob? Good. All right, we're going to stop right now, and I'm going to listen to this. If I have anything worthwhile, I will play it into the camera, but right now we're going to stop.
I'm going to start a spirit box session now in the green room. Can you tell me what this room is used for? Is Mr. or Mrs. Kreischer here still?
Who is here with us right now? Ask about Lou.
It's weird how it's gone quiet.
Yeah.
Did you knock something over or knock on the door and it woke Lou up? Did Charles try and contact you through séances?
Edward, did you commit suicide, or were you shot and killed? Did someone kill you?
Did you know who it was who shot you?
couple of
I
times.
did. Who else died on the property? Edward, do you love to live here in the house? Is that why you stay?
Is there a reason that you stay here, that you can't move on? It's a little difficult to hear. We're getting a lot of static. I say we're going to call this right now.
Yeah.
Thank you for speaking to us, if you did, Edward.
Thank you. Dankeschön.
So here we are in the basement. Behind me is the step that was taken out by the FBI, where they found a drop of blood of poor Mr. Robert McLeavy. After they chopped him up in the kitchen, they brought him down here to the basement. They knew that they were going to replace the furnace during a renovation. So they went ahead and chopped him up, brought him down here, and cooked him in the furnace over the course of almost 2 days.
It took that long for the body to...
Yeah.
Well, it's not a crematorium heat, so it's...
No, it's not. And all that was left was some teeth and bones that were then disposed of in the septic tank, which was then found by the FBI also.
Okay, let's take a look at where down here the furnace was.
Right over here.
Okay, come on, we'll take a look.
So, here's the furnace, the new furnace. The old furnace was here where they cooked them. And it took a while. And they did it because they knew they were going to put this one in.
Right.
But whatever was left inside that furnace, bones and teeth, they put right in here, down this drain. So yeah, 8 years later, the FBI finds it after digging out the sludge of the bottom of the septic tank.
Brian, can you let everybody know where we are right now?
We're in the basement of the Kreischer Mansion.
And
Yeah,
this is where that deed happened.
this is where the deed happened.
And that walk-in freezer was here from when it was a restaurant.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Is there any possibility that that was here when this was owned by the mob?
Oh yeah, definitely. And right behind you, which
Yeah.
you guys can't see, was probably the... It's a little scary to be down here, okay?
Yeah, I can understand that. You know, I'd like to try something in there if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, you should, because I don't feel comfortable being here.
All right. No, I don't want you to be uncomfortable. All right, come on out. Come on out. I'm gonna go in there. I want to do a quick EVP, run on EVP, and then I want to run on a little bit of spirit box down here. Nell, are we ready to roll?
Yes.
All right. I'm starting the EVP session now. Is there anyone down here with me right at the moment? Is there anyone buried under this cement floor in this basement? Does the name Bonanno mean anything to anyone down here?
I gotta chill.
You got a chill?
Should we keep our mouths shut?
Should we be quiet?
Robert, did you say too much?
Were other people harmed by the mob and either killed and buried under this cement in this basement or outside on the grounds? I'm going to say two names. You respond to the one that has relevance to you. Bonanno. Joe Young or Joe Black. Do you know that name? This is your chance to speak. Something they didn't give you, you have now. All right. You want anybody want to ask? If you do, come on up.
say.
Brian, if you have anything you want to ask, now's the time.
Okay.
Are you staying quiet because you want to stay quiet now? Do you need some peace? If you need some peace, you can say it's okay.
Are you still afraid?
That's the question. Don't be afraid.
There's nothing to fear. We're not here to harm you or show disrespect. If anything, we're here to help you, if we can.
People feel for you. Sometimes you get ahead of yourself. It's okay to say you made a mistake. If you're a rat, you're a rat. We're down in the basement now. You can tell us the truth.
Or if something just slipped out without you meaning it to.
Yeah, things happen. Speak your piece now. It'll set you free. Like St. Thomas Aquinas.
All right. Let's see what we got. All right, I'm going to stop now, listen back, and if I have anything, I'm going to play it directly into the camera. We just listened back to what we just recorded, and we did capture something, and it's, to me, disturbing, knowing the history of this place, and I'm going to play that for you right now into the recorder. Then we're going to take it up, and Brian has been kind enough, along with Josh, to try to analyze this for us a little bit, make it a little clearer, but you'll hear exactly what happened when I play it for you now.
Is there anyone down here with me right at the moment? Is there anyone buried under this cement floor in this basement? Does the name Banano mean anything to anyone down here? It was down here, huh?
Now that I can't explain. It sounds like a scream, and it sounds like yes to us. We're going to try to listen to it a little closer using the board, and after I do that, I'm going to come back and pursue this a little further.
That's what we heard.
All right, so what would you say are
I hear help us.
in which one?
The second bit. Help us.
It sounds like help us.
Do some clip gain in the back half of it, so we can turn to the back half.
Help us.
Help us.
Or are we just trying to help them
Wow.
say something?
Is that hello?
That's
first
different
one?
peop- That's
Yeah,
different people.
could have been.
That's definitely different people. I know that. For music,
Yeah,
that's
but-
true.
I think that might be help us. All right, so far, this is what we got. Josh, why don't you just let us know where we're at? We definitely have vocal on there.
Definitely have vocals. I don't know. This is weird.
It's not, there's no explanation for it,
No.
physical, anyway.
Could the first noise be them dragging what's left of him down there?
I don't know. We could speculate, but we can't say for sure.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go back down and continue maybe with a spirit box session, but we wanted to show you that we did try to figure out exactly what was said, but something was said there.
We should go to the shed.
All right, I'm gonna close this down now. All right, I'm back We did analyze as best we could the sounds that we recorded, and I honestly feel that we had a response from other people that might have been killed and buried under this floor. This floor is protected, it's part of the Historical Society, can't be dug up, and that was done prior to the mob leaving the building. And I'm going to do a spirit box session. For anybody who's not familiar with the spirit box is basically a transistor radio that has a sweep circuit built into it that rapidly scans through radio frequencies, either in the AM band or the FM band. Right now we're going to sweep at the fastest sweep rate in reverse, and we're going to begin the session right now. Is there anybody here that I spoke to earlier that would care to please tell me their name so I can give you peace and maybe release you if you're bound to this place? How many people are buried under this cement? I need it really clear. I need you to say a very clear word. Leave or stay. Either one. Use all your energy. Speak through this device. Show yourself. Do something. Move the door. Something. All right, listen. I'm going to stop this session. But I want you to know that I'm going to speak to Brian to see if he could possibly, doesn't hurt, have a priest come down and maybe give you the last rites in this area. Bless it, give it the last rites. All right, thank you. Thank you for communicating. If you did. All right, that was the spirit box session. I think I've done all that I can really do down here. I'm going to meet up with the others and we're going to go out to the shed and see what we can capture there. Where are we going right now?
We're gonna go back to the shed, the barn, the shack.
And what's the importance of that place?
Well, that's where they hid him for a minute.
Yeah.
Or a day.
Yeah, they hid the body, right? And you said they sat him in a chair and just left him in there.
Yeah, for that one story, I think. But I believe, or I think, and I feel, there's something way more back there that we don't know about. You know, we know the one story about Robert McLeavy, but we don't know about what else happened.
All right, let's take a walk back there. All right now we're back on our way out to the shed. And Brian is with us. Brian, now we're back here in the shed.
Yeah.
And this is important because this is where they stored the body while they were trying to figure out what to do with it.
Well, yeah, this is the area where they discussed the nuances of disposing of the body.
Right. Okay.
To my right,
Yeah.
there was a bunch of shutters lined up
Yeah.
that they had a,
Use that as a makeshift gurney, so to speak.
Yeah, it's a great way to look at it, yeah.
And they took him in, and the next thing you know,
Yeah.
he was in pieces and going in the furnace.
Yep.
But he was stored here for a while, so maybe, I'm thinking, perhaps there might be some energy of that left behind. So I'm going to run on the spirit box, and I want to see if Robert's here.
Yeah, look for him. This is the place.
Or any other people who might have been hit by the mob.
Maybe. This is the one place that no one's been in I don't want to come into.
And this is the place you don't like.
I'm going to step away while you do that.
All right. You can go out. I'm starting the spirit box session right now. Robert! Or anyone out here that might have been buried. Can you hear me right now? Who is with me right now? Robert. Robert, is that you? Is there anything I can do to help you, Robert? Was there anybody else ever put in this shed while waiting to be disposed of? There's some shutters over there. What were they used for? Was anybody else buried out on these grounds? It said leave. All right, I'm gonna leave. Thank you. Robert, are you here? Anywhere near my voice, the sound of my voice right now? What happened to you out here? Where did they put you? That chair is one of the set of wicker chairs that Robert McLeavy was placed in while they tried to figure out what to do with him, and eventually took him into the house to dismember him. Were you the only person whose body was placed inside this shed while others were trying to figure out a way to dispose of it? If you can you do something for me? Can you make a noise? Can you move something in here? If you did communicate with me during the course of this investigation, I want to thank you. If there were other spirits, perhaps connected with the Kreischers, or from the period when it was owned by the mob, that might have been buried out here, I want to thank you as well. I wish I could do something so you wouldn't be laying in a nameless grave, if that's the case. I want to thank you, and good night. I think that's it for in here. All right, right now, we're back at the house. I'm coming up onto the porch. And this was our final night here at the Kreischer Mansion. And we'll see what we find.